You're listening to Traumedy, the podcast that helps you transmute your trauma with comedy. It's therapeutic humor. I'm Nancy Norton. I'm a stand-up comedian, a registered nurse, and a speaker. I talk about the power of humor, the many benefits of humor that I have learned from studying therapeutic humor for the last 3 years with the Association of Applied and Therapeutic Humor. Visit them on the web at aath.org. The conference for AATH for Applied and Therapeutic Humor is coming up in April. Go to aath.org to learn more. You too can get certified in therapeutic humor. Welcome to Traumedy. My guest this week is Aleda Windels, who I met doing a comedy show in Loveland, Colorado. Welcome, Aleda.
Hi.
I'm faking. I'm going high energy late at night. We're recording at, it's 10:30 p.m. my time, 11:30 almost your time in Minneapolis, Minnesota. This
one's for the night owls.
Yeah. Even though we are not going to broadcast live, just know it was recorded in the night. We're both night owls, aren't we? You were saying you stay up. I stay up till, tonight I'll edit last week's episode until about 4 or 5 in the morning. I don't know why I like doing that. It's just kind of a quiet time to get stuff done.
Yeah, there's nobody else around to mess with you.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Also, I think I have some sort of existential crisis in the middle of the night, so it's just like I go to bed when the sun comes up.
That's when the dread really sinks in.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you were telling me that you saw Traumedy and it clicked with you, like something that you feel aligned with. And I love when people see it, hear it, and have a contribution to make or want to share, because that's all we're doing here is just peer-to-peer sharing, just trying to help other people see how we've coped with some hardships. And so thanks for being willing.
Thanks for having me.
We can just get right into it. Is there anything that came to your mind when you first saw Traumedy that you're like, yeah, I definitely do that? I cope using humor. You're also an artist. You're a comedian. You're a producer. You're a musician. You have lots of artistic expressions.
Right. Yeah. For me, I guess I've always been kind of a jokester, and they're not always at the appropriate times, maybe. But I started doing comedy about 3.5 years ago, and about 1.5 years into that adventure, my oldest son, Jack Riley, was in a bike accident, and he didn't survive. And I think we were in the hospital with him for about a week and a half. So it's just been it was a pretty heavy experience and really sudden and not something any parent plans for, or maybe like the anxious ones think about it in their worst nightmares, So it's just, for me, a person with anxiety, a lot to kind of process, but
And that's such a shock. And your son, how old was he?
He was 16, so he would have been 18 years old in January.
Oh man, that's just such a robbery. I'm so sorry. There's no words for losing a child. I just am at a loss. And
I guess I don't know how the comedy kind of lends into that is, previous to that happening, I had my first comedy tour, or it was a short, just kind of, lineup of shows out of state. And that happened, well, it would have been 2 months after Jack passed. That was supposed to happen. And he was so excited about it and wanted to come with. And I decided, instead of sitting it out, to just go with and do it, because to honor him in a way because he was so excited about comedy. And so that was like watching stand-up specials was something special we did together. Like we shared together a lot.
What were some of the favorite what were some of his favorite comedians, or some that you both loved together? What were some of the specials that just really
Yeah, Jack really loved Brian Regan. That was
Oh.
George Carlin was one that we would just kind of trade back and forth different ones. We're like, hey, I really like this. Hey, I really like this. So it wasn't just like one or two comics. It was just kind of our thing. Jack really liked just a lot of different stuff. And when I started doing comedy, and I would send him like a little clip, or he would like, hey, can you send me a clip so I can send it to my friends? he was like my big, my biggest
clips
fan
of
this,
your comedy. That is so cool.
Right.
Oh my gosh, my son, I have to say, my son is well, he's 19, and I don't think he's ever I don't think he's ever requested one of my clips to share with his friends. I'm like, oh no, is that a bad sign? I guess so.
It sounds like a teenager.
But that's so cool.
Yeah.
That Jack, and did you say is it two names? Is he Jack or Jack Riley? Is that
Jack Riley? Yeah, I guess that's what's kind of usually I would call him by both names a lot.
Yeah, you're not Southern. It sounds kind of Southern, Jack Riley.
I'm not Southern, but yeah.
But that's just Jack Riley. I like that, Jack Riley. So he and you guys. So y'all would just go back and forth. Like here's one, and then you sit and watch together. That's so cool. Do you feel like his essence, and like it sounds like he was funny. I mean, if most I bet he was funny also, huh?
Yeah, he was a silly kid. But like I've been starting to do more writing, or like where I want to do some more like storytelling in some of my material and kind of incorporating some of those stories about him. It's still kind of in like the beginning stages. It's still pretty fresh.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, but like there's just so many like silly stories and things like he would say, and like just good memories that I want to share with people and that I want to continue to talk about through comedy, so that I'm kind of like in the healing process, like remembering those things. And I have like a notebook where I will jot down like memories of him as I think of them, which was like something my therapist suggested.
Oh, that's
Because people
beautiful.
don't think about it like when they're in the early stages of grieving, but like there are things that you forget eventually. So like do it.
Yes, do it.
It's a healing thing, and like do it now while you remember things, and
Oh,
so you can go back and look at them again.
yeah, and that's just, I mean, such a great legacy for him. If I can imagine being an artist and a musician, there'll be songs about him. There'll be art created about him. There'll be even comedy routines that he lives on in those expressions. Right. I know that it's got to be when you're ready. I mean, that's so recent still.
Right. Yeah. And it's like that's just it. I'm not rushing myself. Like I have like there's definitely other things, other material that I've kind of written, involving other areas of my life where I've experienced trauma, like religious trauma, and stuff about the collective trauma. I don't know, we kind of experienced here in Minnesota with the riots and George Floyd, and the strong feelings about that, and how it not only continues to traumatize the Black community in Minneapolis, but like our state as a whole has kind of been it's a collective trauma. And that was like one. I also have a degree in sociology, and one of the classes that I'm so grateful I got to take during that was about collective trauma, so like the historical trauma and collective healing. So like traumas we experience together as a society. And that's something I kind of like to talk about.
I would love to know about that.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that, and that it makes sense when you say it. I just never have learned about it. So things like this with George Floyd changed my son's life and his trajectory in life, actually. and he's a child of color. He's not Black. He is Asian American. He's
Mhm.
brown, but he definitely identified with George Floyd, and he decided, which is kind of confusing to me, to go into police work. Like he said, "Mom, I've got to go in and try and change it from the inside," which is very humbling because I'm like, "Oh man, it's a huge fraternal order." But he is called to do
Right.
that. Like he is called to go in and be a part of mental health reform. And I will say, ever since he was a little kid, he was like a peacemaker.
It
But
takes a special kind of person to cultivate those skills, I think.
there's just something in him that I can't
Hmm.
explain. I think it's also his heritage that's sort of in his DNA a bit. When I was he's from Nepal, so anyway, I noticed that people there had not a lot of ego, at least not that I could detect. There just seemed to be like do what's needed, and it's not so much about the self. So tell me about that. What the collective, what did you call it? A collective trauma?
Yeah, so like historical traumas or collective traumas. We talked a lot about in the class about how we pass like those generational traumas or collective traumas down in our DNA. So like, traumas your ancestors have experienced and your community has experienced, they are passed down generation to generation in our biology, and not just from
Not just from the
maybe those
stories and
unbroken family cycles, but there's actual science, lending to those things being passed down to like our biology, like within us.
that makes sense. I mean, where else do we get some of these instincts but from the collective DNA? Those survival instincts, and
How
then
was I born with anxiety?
that's our survival skill. I'm wired for anxiety also. I am very
Right.
wired. I mean, I don't know. Like my son is adopted, so he and I don't have that DNA connection. However, and this is where I'm ashamed, I have imprinted him with some anxiety, and I have imprinted him with some generational, I will say, shame, which I have had to make amends for. It's just the way when I hear my mother's voice come through me, and it's that
Sure.
certain energy that's like, you shouldn't be, blah, 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 and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like that is not
Right.
the way I want to be. But imprinting there's also the nurture and the nature,
So
I
part of
guess.
it's unavoidable. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's
We're,
part, how
we're
do,
all learning.
yeah. And then when you think of examples for healing historical trauma or healing collective trauma, what kind of things come up, like for George Floyd or
One thing we talked about was like healing cycles. There's different like steps to it. So there's like memorialization is a big thing, which that could be kind of considered what we do in comedy when we use our trauma to make other people laugh, or we change it to make people laugh in a way. We memorialize like how people brought flowers and stuff to memorialize George Floyd, or how people, when they lose a rock star, they bring flowers to their, some place to honor them,
yeah, and
or
that beautiful,
just
beautiful
yeah,
paintings of him on murals on
right,
buildings.
yeah, and like art. It happens a lot through art, whether it be sculpture or jokes or paintings or murals or songs. Um, that's a way, whole cultures heal. It's not just an individual concept. Like like that, like art heals cultures and individuals, but it's a way to speak, not just through generations, for some artists, transcend death even in that way, and memorializing.
Is there something that you have done that way in your community or with a community?
Something that happened, when tragedy happens, you see people come together a lot. Something that happened after, well, like after my son passed, the stand-up comedians in Sioux Falls, which is where I started stand-up. I recently moved back to Minneapolis, but they did a benefit show for me and my family, and we did like a clean comedy benefit show. And this was, you know after some months have passed and some time had passed. But they did a clean comedy show and invited my three younger kids to come to that, and it was like a really healing experience to like just go and do that and memorialize him and his silliness. And we had a theme of fart jokes because those are his favorite,
Those were his favorite fart jokes?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's every little boy's favorite. Fart jokes. You can't go wrong.
I wish I had a fart sound on my thing, like I was trying. I can't even make one. I was like, you would think
We'll put that in post.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. So there was that. There were like this fart theme, and then there were other themes that came up.
Yeah. Just like trying to. It was kind of a running joke that like, well, can't be a clean comedy show and fart jokes. Like, it's just like how are fart jokes clean? And it was just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It just got some kind of
clean scatological humor. I think that's fair.
Clean poop jokes.
Clean poop jokes. That's right. My son wrote a joke when he was 7, and I helped him craft the joke, but he came up with the funny kind of pun around something. What do you, let's see. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I forgot how this joke goes. Oh, what do you see when aliens get diarrhea? Mysterious crap circles. And he was looking out this field with cow patties in it, and he just got this funny idea that
that's pretty good.
Those were crap circles.
That's a solid premise.
I know. I have to hand it to him. But I think your son would like that one. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe it's probably a little young.
He came up to me one day, my son Jack, and he said, "Mom, you could rewrite every Green Day song using only the word banana." And he just started singing Boulevard of Broken Dreams to me using just the word banana.
How does it go? Can you do it? Can you sing it?
Banana, 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 banana. Yeah, it goes on from there.
And it goes on.
You get the idea.
Let's just do that for the next 40 minutes.
Just Green Day's entire discography.
Yeah.
With only the word banana.
That would be so funny if we had that kind of commitment. I actually wish I had the nerve to do that. That I think would be fucking hilarious. Excuse my language. That wasn't a clean comedy show. I gotta watch my language. I'm trying not to drop F-bombs as often, but I think that one of my nurse friends told me it relieves pain. So I think maybe I was just feeling a little pain, so I just had to drop that out there. Anyways, it's just
that's one of my favorite words.
I know, it's just such a
working. Have you ever watched the Good Place? Have you ever watched?
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it.
It's about an afterlife, but they can't cuss. So every time she drops an F-bomb, she says forking.
Like, oh, and I bet that's a good show to watch for somebody who's lost a loved one. Because
it's I don't know. That one's
no.
It's interesting.
Oh, it's not really one of those. Like
maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't know if it was helpful to kind of.
I don't know. It's a comedy show where they think they're in heaven.
Oh, okay.
They tell them they're in heaven, but they're actually in hell and being like psychologically tortured.
Oh dear.
Like
okay.
A comedy.
Never mind. Wow. Wow.
It's really funny. Yeah.
That's intense.
It's yeah.
Of course I don't believe in hell, so I mean I think
I don't really either.
I think that as close as we get is just probably ego.
With the suffering we put ourselves through.
That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
I do make my own hell from time to time.
That's what everybody does. I feel like it's part of the Earth mission. I'm very spiritual these days, and I just did psilocybin day before yesterday, and had this most profound spiritual experience. and just unmistakable. And then the reentry is a little hard. Like, I gotta say, coming back into the earth, like
Right.
just boom, like
Everything's
back in the, yeah,
a
everything.
little dim.
I feel really heavy. My body feels so
Yeah.
heavy. My joints are aching. I could hardly, move around. But I definitely believe in
Yeah.
spirit and that we are all spirit energy having an earth
Yeah.
experience.
For sure. I guess my psilocybin experiences, like I get what you mean about that reentry, like that heaviness or weightiness, but I try to pay attention to those aches and pains. I guess for me, what psilocybin does is make me hyper present.
Mm-hmm.
So like my self awareness is heightened. My awareness of my body is heightened. My awareness of my immediate surroundings is heightened, but I don't know. It's a good moment to like observe those things and kind of
Really.
if something feels off. There's this book called The Body Keeps the Score. It
Yes, I know that book. I haven't read the whole thing. I have it on Audible. But yeah,
Same.
yeah.
Yeah, same. There's a lot of like aches and pains I kind of get, and I wouldn't go so far as to call it chronic pain, at least in my case, but just continual ones. And I really like the more I meditate and on my body and like where I feel discomfort, I kind of come back to that, like what experience, like what life experience am I holding here?
Yeah,
Um,
have dialogue with it. Uh,
right.
don't try to move it away. Like, just, okay, what are you telling me? That kind of thing, or
Yeah, yeah, just kind of maybe release or let go of maybe some expectation or I don't know pressure I'm putting on myself. I guess
oh,
would be
that's
the
really good.
yeah.
That's really good. I like that. And then, what kind of pressure are we putting on ourselves all the time? My friend that I did psilocybin with is one of the most human beings I've ever met. Like, not a human doing, and I'm like, I'm mystified by it. Now, keep in mind, keep in mind, based on that frog in my throat, how old I am. Like, I am in my 60s. My friend is 60. So it's a different time of life, okay? In some ways, I'm just starting this new path of like traumedy feels like a calling to me that I must answer. And I want to. I mean, I enjoy it. I get energy from it. I get healing from
Yeah.
it. But my friend is like, there's nothing calling him. There is just, he's like, I will just, he's kind of like floating. I keep picturing like a bobber in the water, but I think that's reducing it. I just feel like he's transparent. And then wherever the universe kind of nudges him, he goes there, but he has no agenda. He has no bucket list. He's just okay. He enjoys life. He enjoys the day, but it's just sort of, he's retired. So he's just sort of like, just being.
Right.
Hard to imagine.
But I mean, it sounds wonderful, but like I think I'm incapable at this at this point.
It's hard to relate to for me because I've always just
Right.
had the next thing. And I do think, my friends who are in their 60s and 70s are like, I'm no longer looking for the next thing. It is like, it makes sense, And my joke is, a lot of my jokes right now are about decomposing while alive. I look in the mirror and see my skin just sagging off my skull. I'm like, well, it's probably okay to lay down and just, I do have a fantasy of doing that, but I'm not quite ready to retire. But anyway, you're much, much younger, and
Mm.
I'm sure your life purpose, it sounds like you have so many gifts to offer the world with your music and your comedy and your art and producing comedy shows.
Yeah, I'm just kind of figuring it out, or at least piecing it all together into one force. I don't
Oh,
maybe force
yeah.
isn't the right word, but they've always been
But sort of
I've always
integrating?
been musical. I've always, since I was in middle school, you know, choir, band, jazz band, pep band, marching band, all the, and then like a rock band, and um, I work like within the music industry, and stuff now in the retail aspect, and then also do like stagehand stuff, from time to time. But so like the music aspect has always been a very strong part of my life, but I haven't really incorporated it into any sort of career path or anything like that. It's just been like a hobby up until this point, and same with art and painting. Um, Up until I think 6 years ago is when I kind of started to use that talent for healing and helping other people. I used to work in a drug and alcohol rehabilitation center, a smaller one, and I got to do some art therapy classes, under the supervision of a licensed therapist there. But I, came up with the themes, and we did paintings, and I worked with adult men, and a lot of these men, had just gotten out of prison, or had just had all kinds of different traumas that come along with drug addiction and alcoholism. And they kind of like, at first they're like, oh, we're going to do arts and crafts, Aleda, come on, like, really, like, we don't want to do arts and crafts. And but once we started doing it and we got the paint out and they started doing it, and like their canvases, because we did paint pours, which are pretty simple, but they look really cool. Like, they're pretty simple to execute, but the outcome is neat. And
Did you do the kind?
the way each of those men like just lit up,
Oh,
when they're like, oh, look what I made. Like, this is so cool. I'm going to send
yeah.
this to my daughter, or I'm going to send this to so-and-so, or it was just really cool to see, because they were just like so standoffish about it. Like, oh, come on, I just got off prison. You think I want to paint a picture? Like, just kind of like, whatever. But they all like really enjoyed it, and it was really fun. And I think healing, and we talked a lot about kind of the concept for it was that we had like the paint pour was the things in your life you can't control, because that once you pour the paint on, it kind of moves wherever. You don't have a whole lot of.
Was it like those ones I've seen on Instagram, those spinning ones? Or
Yeah, yep,
oh, I love those. And so the metaphor, I love that. So there's
yep,
just like, here's some variables.
right. And then the next session we did with that, once those canvases dried, they got to pick a symbol that represented themselves to either like Mod Podge on top of the paint pour, or to draw or paint on top of the paint pour. And they just, some of the stuff they came up with, it was just beautiful. Like, it was really cool to see the different ideas. Like, I think one guy was like a phoenix, and one guy did a ladybug to represent him and his daughter. And then one of my native clients did like the medicine wheel to represent like his community and his healing. It was just really cool. Like, they all had put a lot of thought into it. It was just kind of beautiful to see, because they were like, I didn't think they were going to even engage with me on this, but they just loved it. So
Once they got into it, and then I bet that did look really beautiful with that paint pour, spinning paint.
yeah, like the marbling and they turned out great. I'll send you a picture. I have.
Oh, please do. Yeah, send me
memories today, which I'm kind of glad it did, because we were planning to talk tonight, and I was just like, oh, I could talk about this. This was a great experience.
Yeah.
But
And it's inspiring me as well, because I have on my wall right here next to my workbench in my garage, it's a huge canvas, but I'm kind of frozen on it, and I just need to start, like, it's a path in the woods is what it is.
Just throw some paint down.
Yeah,
there.
just start doing it. And I almost kind of want to do it with finger paint. I don't know why, but you're inspiring me to do.
I love finger painting.
Like
I blend with my fingers all the time.
Yeah, I think that would feel like my inner child doing some. I mean, I could let different. I do a lot of inner family system work, inner child, inner teenager.
Yeah.
So maybe I could do like let all different parts of me paint that and get out of my inner critical parent.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
I think that's That would feel great. So please send me that. I want to see it, and I'll post it when we post your episode. I'll post a picture of you and a picture
Sure.
of the art and anything else that you want me to post, because
Yeah, definitely.
and I want to share with people about now. So you have shows you're pretty. Do you have something that's coming up in Minneapolis area?
I don't. I Most of what I'm producing right now is in Sioux Falls, so I've been traveling kind of back and forth
Oh, because that's
between
your
the two
home. That's kind of
places.
your home base for comedy. That's where
Yeah, that's
you
kind
have.
of my home base for comedy right now. I've done one show so far, in Anoka, which is a suburb of Minneapolis, but planning to get some more stuff going.
But I can put a link to your show in Sioux
Oh,
Falls
definitely. Yeah,
for
my
those
next one
listeners.
that's coming up.
You never know. We might have a listener in Sioux Falls. You never
Yeah,
know.
my next one that's coming up is March 22nd at Club David in Sioux Falls. I'm producing that show and also hosting and opening for Skylar Bulks and Lavetti Vegas. So he's a comic out of Nebraska, and then Skylar's a local Sioux Falls comic. He's been at it for about 12, well, probably more than 12 years. Gosh, I don't even know. Skylar's been at it for a while. He's great. He kind of tours all over the country. So I think it's going to be a really fun show. He hasn't performed in his hometown, Sioux Falls, for about 2 years. So I think,
Oh, that'll be
yeah,
fun.
it
Yeah.
should be a good time.
And then are you going to do some music? Do you do music? Are you going to do some music with your comedy?
Then I'm producing music. So got a couple Minneapolis bands coming, and then we're doing on March 29th, and we're doing an open mic to honor my friend Sarah Manson for her birthday. She's one of the other comics in Sioux Falls. So we're doing open mic after the music, which I think is going to be fun. Then doing a comedy hip hop variety show. We're going to do some improv hip hop games and some stand up and hip hop.
Oh, that's interesting.
So
I've never
it's
heard
gonna
of that.
be.
I've
I'm
never
really
heard of
excited
combining.
about that one. I've been planning that for about 6 months now with my friend
Wait a minute. Tell me,
Jeremy,
how did
aka
you come?
Donata.
I've never heard of combining hip hop and stand up. Where have I been? Or did this something you made up? Did you just?
No, definitely not something. You should watch Wildin' Out sometime. We're loosely basing the live show, the concept of the live show, off of Wildin' Out. That's definitely
How do
the
you spell
inspiration.
Wildin' Out? I don't know.
So like WILDN out.
Wild and Out. Okay, I'm embarrassed. I feel like you're like, Nance, this is something that's this is a big thing now, and I have no idea about.
I don't. It was a TV. It was on TV for a while, but I thought it would just be a fun concept for like
Wild
just
and
a
Out.
fun little show. Yeah, I know a lot of rappers and I know a lot of comedians, and I'm like, why don't we just smush these two things together?
And then what happens? Is there
See
going to
what
be
happens.
is there going to be a rap battle, or is there going to be a?
There might be.
Is there going to be like a
rap battle.
roast?
I might leave that to the rappers.
Or we could do a like. Could you do
But
a?
both of the a couple of the rappers I have are pretty comedic, like freestyle rappers. So I think it would. We'll see what happens.
And where is that? When is that?
That's in Sioux Falls, April 5th at Club David, and then April 13th at Icon Event Hall. In downtown Sioux Falls, we're having the Comedy Art Collective. That show, we're bringing in music, we're bringing in visual artists, we're bringing in comedians.
You're doing it.
Yeah, so it's come full circle, and all of the things are in. This is the first, attempt of cramming them all together, but it's a beautiful space. It's a great venue. I've got some awesome artists on the show, local people, local visual artists. I've got a few painters, I've got a couple illustrators, just all kind, like a variety of different stuff. So, and then some of the artists are multi-talented. So I have multiple people that do visual art, comedy, music. They do multiple things. So I think it's going to be really cool to kind of showcase people that wear a lot of hats like me. So
absolutely. I love it. I love just co-creativity is I love getting together with other people and creating things, and things that take a form that you would never do on your own. Like you might be the producer and the organizer, but then when you start co-creating, what happens?
It just brings, it creates this chemistry that you don't really like. and it just happens in the moment, you know? Like, I love being present for those type of moments.
Yes.
So I'm really excited
Yeah,
about this venue, especially. It's a beautiful space.
yeah,
I've
and
seen a lot of really awesome bands that I love there. Like, we saw the Wailers, and I had so Bob Marley's
oh,
band. So
yeah.
three of the original members, and then his son on drums, and then a couple of singers that aren't original members, but they were phenomenal. And
Oh, wow.
it kind of all to bring it back to like spirituality and like having those spiritual experiences. So one of the first songs that my son Jack learned to sing was Three Little Birds by Bob Marley.
Oh my gosh, I have
So
goosebumps. I have goosebumps.
yeah, so they played that song, and I
Oh,
was there with my sister Erica,
I have
and we
chills.
were just overcome, you know, like just overcome, like felt Jack there with us.
I
And
have, I'm just telling you, I have chills all over. I feel like he's
it's
here.
giving me chills talking
I
about it
have, no,
again,
I
but
think he's here right now. I think he's here right
yeah,
now.
I definitely when I talk about him, like I feel him.
Yes.
It's just like you said, keeping people alive, and like energy can't be created or destroyed. Like
That's
his
it. Oh,
yeah.
oh, Jack
Um,
Riley.
but the
And that,
craziest part about it was it wasn't just Erica and I. My friend Sarah, who had no clue about this, that was the song that Jack learned to sing first, and that was a very special song in my family and stuff. She was in front of us a bit at the show, and we were pretty close to the front. But that's like her happy song, right? And she was overcome and like started crying, and she didn't know why. She's like, "What? Why am I?" You know. And then I talked to her
she,
after the show, and we both just like it was one of those like,
wow. That was just, you
oh
all
my,
experienced
yeah,
a spiritual experience together, like tears of joy, right? Like
yeah,
so
yeah.
moved. I mean, that's just beautiful that that's the first song that says so much about you and about your son, that that's the first song he learned. I mean,
Yeah, it's been pretty amazing. Like I'm from rural Minnesota, and like the therapist still talk to and see, she's also from rural Minnesota, and the community that she's in, it's kind of crazy because it is such a small community. She works with a lot of kids who were friends with my son, and of course she can't go into specifics with me, but she always like lets me know about how what an impact he had on his friends and the people he cared about. And like that's just a really, I don't know, that's just a really good thing to hear for me, and like a way that I know like he's still here because of the impact he made like in such a short time.
yeah, he enhanced people's lives.
Definitely.
Wow, he's a special person. And I know there's something special about people that leave early. I don't understand that soul agreement, but I just, there's something about that they're
Right.
completed their soul mission, or they, I don't know how that works. I don't understand it, and I know it's not the way you would want it.
Right. There's some things like I don't there's like I've been working on is being comfortable in the not knowing, and like because I'll worry a lot of times about the not knowing. Like I don't know this. Like I don't know why this happened or how this happened, or you know, but just accepting maybe I'm not meant to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. And then I hear that song playing, right? Three Little
Right?
Birds.
Yeah.
When you
Yeah.
say you worry, it's like just play that
I
song.
well, gosh, yeah, and that song comes to my head. Like it's funny how when you go through something like that, music, some music gains so much more meaning to you than it did. Like it already meant something to you,
Yeah.
but when it's tied to a traumatic event or a person you've lost, or an impactful event, how much more that art means to you. And like for me, I feel closer to Jack. I feel closer to my highest potential too, like when I'm making art and engaging in art and participating in art and
Yes.
in music. So it's just I don't know. it's just so it's almost as necessary to, like, for my survival, I feel, as necessary as therapy, as necessary as breathing someday. It's like,
Yes. And you know what I've heard too, and this is something I heard from Ram Dass. I don't know if you ever listen to any Ram
yeah,
Dass,
I do. Yeah, a little bit.
but there's a podcast that's out there where they play his old lectures and everything. And there was this one thing he said that just moves me every time. And it's like, are you connecting with your victim energy, which is what has already been manifested, or are you connecting as the manifester as the creator with the creator? Like, are you creating? Are you creating, or are you being a victim? I don't know if
Yeah.
that's
So,
oversimplified.
my friend Philip said this to me once, and it stuck with me. I think maybe maybe this is something he picked up from Ram Dass too. He said the way you are talking about your life is how it's manifesting. The way you are talking about your life is how it's manifesting. The way you're talking about your life is how it's manifesting. Now, tell me again, how's it going?
Yes. Yes.
So it's those are things I try to be aware of, because I can get really, like, in my head and negative at times, and it just, he said, I create my own suffering most of the time. I mean, sometimes circumstances in life create suffering for us, but I'm pretty good at doing it all on my own.
I know, but it's also, I mean, let's not underestimate the grief and the trauma you've been
Oh,
through.
sure.
And yet, like, that is the paint on the canvas, right? That grief is that's a lifelong process. But
Right.
then, oh, like, to me, that is the only way I notice, for me anyway, to get out of this feeling of what has happened to me, to get out of that and just to start, like, or start comparing myself to other people. I hate when I do that. It's never a good feeling, whether you're up or down. I just
Yeah.
don't like it. But just also,
Yeah.
their life's been easier, mine's been whatever.
Yeah.
Just,
Comparison is the thief of joy.
it is. But
Yeah.
just but when you were saying, like, but then when I'm lost in creating, and I think
Yeah.
just, yeah, being connected with all that. I love that when you're doing your music, when you're making music, creating a show, and stay on that side of the net too. That's always hard too with producing, because it's an investment and it's a little scary sometimes
Right.
financially.
There's definitely risk involved, but
Yeah, but that if you focus on the vibration of it, that's another thing I find. Just trying to raise that frequency a little bit. It's
oh,
amazing how
definitely.
that
I'm
attracts.
very, like, I'm very intentional with who I choose to book
Yeah, so they got to have
and
a
who I
certain
choose
vibe.
to work with. Yep.
Yeah, good. I think that's wise. That sounds great. And I'm
'Cause comedians are crazy.
turns out, turns out, and I'm.
Turns out we're all nuts.
It's true. A lot of us are wounded children,
For
and
sure.
but we're also healers. Like, we're the wounded
Right.
healers, I feel. Like, we're
I, I
wanting.
think I think you're right. Yeah.
But we go in and out. We can go back and forth, and I can be in that space of, like, you probably don't want to be around me right now, but then I can also, I'm shifting more and more to higher frequencies, which I really enjoy. Um and yeah, I find that creating stuff helps, and also just sharing. I'm really shifting my energy when I'm on stage these days. And this is a long. You've only been doing comedy 3 years is a long time, but it's also not very long. Because it
Yeah, like 3.5 years. Yeah, it's been an adventure. I The third time I ever did an open mic, I got hired the next morning.
that's awesome. Yeah,
And it kind of just didn't stop. So it was just like, okay, well, I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
I think
Like, it was,
so. I think so.
it wasn't like a matter of me, like I've always enjoyed comedy and been a fan of comedy up until that point, but and then I did it and I was like, oh, I'm okay at this. And then I did it again and I'm like, I'm pretty okay at this. And then I did it the third time. and get a phone call in the morning, like, "Hey, do you want to come do a show in Sioux City, Iowa?" I'm like, yes. And then just kind of that it kind of snowballed into this conglomeration of all kinds of things. So
Isn't it funny, like, when you stumble onto your path like that and it's just all of a sudden doors just start opening?
yeah,
That is,
that
I love
yeah,
that.
it's
I mean,
cool.
that's a great sign, like, "Oh, let me just go try this." Like, when I did stand-up, I was gonna do it just once and ended up same thing, like, getting hired by this club, and I was living in Hawaii at the time, and I just wanted to do it once before I died, I was like, "I gotta go do," and I was only, 27, but I was working with dying patients, so I had a lot of mortality on my mind, like,
Oh
my
yeah,
mortality was in my face, and I was just like, "Yeah, yeah, I
yeah.
gotta do this before I die."
Yeah, I worked in hospice as like a nursing assistant for about a year during during 2020 2021.
Oh, you did? So
Yeah,
you
it
know
was
that sacred time at the end of life,
yeah, yeah,
and people don't waste their breath, and they tell you, like, they if you ask a guy was asking me, like, "Why? How are you so at peace?" And they're, "Oh, honey, I live my dreams, and I did the thing, whatever it was, wrote the book, traveled, had the
for
family,
sure.
whatever it was."
Yeah.
And it's like, "Oh, I better do my thing then." So you did.
Yeah.
So did you have any epiphanies, or did you
Um,
witness anything interesting as a hospice worker?
I it was definitely a learning experience. It was kind of like I worked in a dementia unit, and just the time it was with like the COVID restrictions and stuff, a lot of these people weren't getting visitor, like their family was unable to come visit, or there was just so many visiting restrictions, and like just you did it was just kind of a lonely existence a lot of times for them. So like me being myself would just I go I get attached to people, and I kind of try to go above and beyond to make them comfortable, and like
Aw.
I bring my ukulele to work from time to time. I think at Halloween I brought my face paints into work, and a few of my residents let me paint them, which was a good time. Staffing the way it is in nursing homes and and that sort of stuff, sometimes like they just don't get a lot of enriching activities or as many as we would like to provide. So
Well, they were lucky that you were there.
it
That
was
and
it was
music is
fun
I've always
parts
and
of it.
I
Yeah.
have some friends that do music therapy, and music therapy is so great with especially dementia patients. We've seen it over and over with people with Alzheimer's or people
Yeah.
that are nonverbal, and then all of a sudden they're singing a song.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Anything you want to share, jokey wise, that has helped, like anything you have been writing lately that's tickling you?
This is one that people it's a little dark, but
That's
people
perfect for
really
traumedy.
people really seem to like it. And it's just a one-liner, but I use it when I kind of feel like I've lost the crowd maybe a little bit. Emo isn't dead. All right. Emo's not dead. It just really, really wants to be. It's it's just a dumb joke, but it's like I've had so many people come up to me after shows and like, that is my favorite.
That is a tight joke.
You're
Yeah.
just twisted. You're as twisted as me. You are.
I think it's great. I think it's great. I love it. Oh, I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me. We time goes fast, And
For sure.
is there anything else that you wanted to share? And because I go taking roads and forks in the lane, and I don't know if I took you away from something else that you wanted to talk about.
I didn't come into it with much of a plan. I figured that's what was going to happen is we were going to.
Yeah.
So I listened to some of the other episodes. I'm like, okay, we're just going to wing it. It's going to be fine.
I
I
know
love,
it.
I love this. This is how I do things.
I know when you were letting your dog out before we started recording, you're like, "Oh, and I got to tell you about my mom and this thing and the religious
Oh
blah blah blah." And I
yeah.
said, save it. I'll call you back. Don't tell
Oh,
me before you tell me." But I
oh.
don't know if that's something you even want to. I can edit
We
this
could,
out.
yeah. Well, so what? Like I was talking. So my mom, she is semi-retired, I guess you could call it. She she's always worked like rearing animals, whether like beef cows, goats for a while. It was she just decided she likes dogs more. So she breeds a few dogs. And the night of my son's funeral, she had like she was there's she has Aussie doodles. And
Is that like an
they
Australian Shepherd?
yeah,
Aussie.
Australian Shepherd and a poodle mix. Yep.
Oh, interesting. I've never seen
Yep.
it. Send me a picture of an Aussie Doodle also,
I
please.
will. I have lots.
We need pictures of Aussie Doodles. Of course,
Everybody needs
I would like to
pictures of
say
Aussie
have
doodles.
your pet spayed and neutered and adopt a shelter pet or get an
Yes.
Aussie Doodle.
I agree. I my mother's choices are not my own, but
But anyway,
she's very ethical and takes very good care of her animals. She's a little maybe a little OCD in the cleanness, which is a good thing to be if you're gonna raise animals. I think.
see, I like to hear that. I like to hear that
Yeah.
the animals are happy and being taken care of. And I bet
All
they're
the puppies
so.
get a bath once a week.
Oh, I bet they're so adorable.
They're really cute.
So tell
But
me, okay, so I interrupted your whole
the
process.
night, yeah, so the night of Jack's funeral, the male poodle was, with the doodle mama. The male poodle, his name is Dudley. I like to call him Dudley the Doodle Daddy. But
Dudley the Doodle Daddy.
there was these puppies conceived the night of my son's funeral, and he was cremated, which is really that's another kind of weird tangent that I don't know. But like a week before his accident, his grandpa and him had a conversation about what they wanted to happen when they passed away, and they both decided they wanted to be cremated.
Wow, the
And it's
week
just
before they had that
like
conversation.
it was maybe a week or two. I'd have to ask Randy for sure, but it was like pretty close proximity, which is just wild to me. Like
something he knew, his soul knew, or
yeah,
something.
But so these puppies were born, months, however many months later. And there's a thing that happens with Aussie puppies when they have what's called a Merle gene, which is like the white and gray speckling color you see on Aussies. If two dogs with the Merle gene breed, which their poodle doesn't have a Merle gene because he's a poodle, but if two dogs with a Merle gene breed, they can come out double Merle. So what happens is the puppies, they have a mutated gene, so they're essentially albino, and they're vision impaired and deaf. Well, we have no idea how this happened to these two puppies that were born because the father isn't a Merle. So these two puppies came out this way, and my mom was like, "Well, Aleda, would you like a puppy?" And I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely." I was just like, "I'll take two." And so I fostered the one, and he's with my friend in Sioux Falls and a groomer. But these puppies, I don't have any explanation as to why they have this genetic defect. And my dog Zeus just does these weird little things that constantly remind me of my son Jack. Like he always is getting into things that dye his hair pink.
Really?
my son Jack had pink hair, and he like pink was his favorite color. But just like that's one thing he does that just always.
How funny!
And I'm just like, did you absorb some of that kid's energy somehow? Like, the way he looks at me sometimes, or his hair sits over his eyes. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I just get these weird vibes from you, dog.
That's
Not
so
that I
funny.
feel like he's reincarnated or anything, but it's just like sometimes I wonder if something didn't happen.
Like his some part of his
Jack's
sense of
energy
humor
was searching for some place to go and came to Grandma's house. I don't know. Like he just does like weird little things, or he'll grab. He likes Jack's blankets and Jack's chair, Jack's stuffed animals. Specifically, like he's a big fan of those things.
That's fascinating. And
yeah, I think that maybe that makes me sound crazy, but
no, it doesn't. It doesn't to me. I'll tell you what. Here's what this is my personal belief, but I mean this is mine. But I have animal things happen all the time, and I feel that. And my brother even had a thing with birds with my mom after she passed. I feel like their spirit can definitely influence an animal. Like animals maybe the veil is thinner for them or something, or maybe they can go get
Yeah,
my
maybe.
teddy bear, like maybe
Right.
they can impact. I have all the time, like a hawk will come by right at this amazing, like synchronistic moment where I get those goosebumps on the outside of my arms, or a robin came to my window right when I was telling my sister a story about a robin that my dad helped me save. This anyway, it was just
Oh,
one
wow.
thing. Like a lot of these things have happened with me and my family and my dad and the squirrels. There's a lot, but it's not that
Mhm.
they're necessarily a reincarnation, but I feel that they
You feel,
definitely
yeah,
their
that's okay.
their spirit influences them somehow, and I don't know
That's,
how.
yeah, that's how I feel about it too.
I don't
Okay,
know. That's
so
my opinion. It's just an opinion.
I think,
It could
yeah,
be anything. Like I like your idea too about the not knowing. I got to
right.
watch what I say sometimes.
If I think about it too, yeah, I can't
Yeah,
overthink it.
right. But I mean, but when you see these synchronistic things and you got a feeling, I don't know. There's just some common things I keep hearing. Like you can trust those
Yeah,
feelings.
well, and that's just it. I hear about the animal stuff from a lot of people, and like Jack's not my mom, but his other grandma. Like we went to lunch the other day and talked about it and how these different things happen. And cardinals, I see a lot of cardinals, and like those have a lot of symbolic meaning. And my mom, like whenever she sees a monarch butterfly, she thinks about Jack.
Mm-hmm.
And so she's taken to, like, she buy Christmas, all my presents were monarch themed this year almost. But
Yeah, yeah.
she says, but it's really sweet, and she made like these seed packets with like pollinating like flowers for pollinators.
To attract
So she put,
butterflies.
yep, so we bought like a big, 10-pound bag of seed, and we put it into little packets. And we have, my sisters are both artists too, so we have these little stickers that we made for Jack, and we're going to send those out so people can plant um these seeds and have their own little butterfly gardens.
Oh, I
So
love
that was kind
that.
of, yeah, that was kind of a nice way that my mom decided to memorialize Jack, because since he was cremated, like, I have him and his dad has him, and we don't like we kind of have our own personal memorials, but we haven't, like, I don't know. It's just, it's weird when something like that happens to like a child. Like we just weren't prepared for. We didn't have like a grave plot or these things, but like, it's kind of, I like having him with me,
Yeah, yeah.
too. So it's something nice to like memorialize him, and kind of, for family members and stuff, and for close friends. So it was a beautiful idea my mom had, and I appreciate it a lot. So
Think that's so beautiful. I have thing with butterflies with my grandma too, and I actually need to share with you. I have a thing with three little birds that came up with a friend of mine in Portland whose husband had died, and I was sitting there meditating in her apartment, and then I started hearing that song, and I was feeling like he was trying to tell her to not worry so much, and then th- like three crows landed on this tree outside. It was just wild. Like how did and then so ever since she'll share with me every now and then I've been talking to my husband. The crows are back, you know. I don't know, man.
yeah,
And then there's a part of me that just wants to now make a fart sound like, and then who knows, like
yeah,
just to have the
yeah.
full range of like sacred, from the
Yeah.
sacred to the sacrum.
Animals, symbolism, like the crows are the keepers of divine law.
Oh, I didn't
So
know that.
yeah, I learned that this summer. I volunteer with an organization that's actually based out of Colorado called Calling All Crows. And what we do is go to festivals and concerts, and we talk to festival goers and concert goers about intervening and preventing sexual assault, or
Now, now I'm getting
when you
chills
see
again.
something, what the appropriate response is. Like,
So you educate people about it's called Calling All Crows. I want to put a link.
mm,
Is there a link to that where people can educate themselves about
oh,
this?
definitely, yeah, yeah. I can, yep, I can send you that too.
Oh, isn't that wild that I wasn't thinking about that? And anyway, I'm so glad that came up. So that's something that you've taken on as part of your mission.
Yeah,
Like I
and then
want to help people.
their symbol is three crows, like flying
Get
crows.
out of town.
Yeah.
I mean, this is where I know I always say Traumedy is a higher power production because we couldn't plan this. That is just amazing. I trust it. I trust the
Let
whole.
it flow. Just let it
Let her flow, baby.
come out. Yeah.
Calling all crows. And crows are the keeper of divine law. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Yep.
And so this is a way of holding safe spaces and helping people and knowing like that.
Yeah.
Is so,
and just making the campaign is called the Here for the Music campaign. And that's just, we're here for the music. Like, touch people without their consent, please. We're here to rock.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. This has been an amazing conversation. Lots of insights. I love everything you shared. Thank you so much for sharing. And I want to thank you.
This is fun.
Yeah. And I want to thank your son. I want to thank Jack Riley for coming through because I felt like he came through tonight and that was pretty special.
Oh, I mean, every time I talk about that Wailers concert, like I just get this like overwhelming
head to toe truth chills is what I got.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I hope you have a great rest of your night. Are you off tomorrow?
Yes.
Enjoy your day off and maybe you can get out on the river or something.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. It might still be frozen.
I forgot where you are. It's like,
it's been a really weird winter because it's been very warm, like unseasonably. There's no snow in Minneapolis right now. And it's just it's freaking me out a little.
It is. We've not had as much snow
There
here.
was no snow almost all winter. So this is uncomfortable, anxiety inducing a little bit. Like, I'm glad it's warm, but also the planet is dying. Like, oh God.
It's just the planet dying. Relax.
No big deal. George Carlin has a great bit about it where he just talks about, like, you think we're killing the planet? The planet's going to shake us off like a bad case of the fleas.
Yep.
Like, well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, but hopefully not before your shows in March, Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.
Bye.
Don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
I want to thank my guest Aleda Windels for sharing so many insights. And look at the show notes for links to Calling All Crows, collective trauma healing, and of course Aleda's shows. If you're in Sioux Falls, tell all the people in Sioux Falls. These are going to be some amazing shows. And as always, I want to thank my son, Nathaniel Norton, and I want to thank the Instagram kid who sings Three Little Birds. Just a beautiful song. Enjoy. It's Traumedy Tuesdays. Tune in every Tuesday. And remember, no matter what, keep laughing.